Here are the top stories for today, October 21st, 2019. President Duterte says he is impressed with Davao del Norte's business programs. The Department of Education says the closure of Salugpungan schools aim to ensure the protection of the children as well as their right to quality education. The Consultative Committee for Charter Change vows to continue pushing for federalism amidst the passing of former Senator Nene and experience life in a farm as farm tourism sites open in Ilocos. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Our top story for today, President Rodrigo Duterte said he is impressed with the performance of Davao del Norte Governor Edwin Jubahib in terms of attracting businesses into the province. Duterte was a guest of honor during the 45th Philippine Business Conference and Expo at the Manila Hotel on Thursday, where Jubahib receives the Most Business-Friendly Local Government Unit Award. Jubahib said the award recognizes the province's commendable initiatives towards good governance reforms. He also received the Seal of Local Good Governance to the province. Since his assumption to office, Jubahib said he opened the doors of the province to all investors and has instituted tax holidays and other incentives to entice more businesses to come. The Tagum City Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated said it nominated Jubahib and the provincial government after witnessing the transformation of the economic policies and directions of the new administration. In other news, the public school teacher couple who were shot inside the campus in Bukidnon denied on Saturday their involvement on membership in the Alliance of Concerned Teachers or ACT party list. Zaidi Cabañeles and Ramel Cabañeles, both teachers at Dalit Elementary School in Sitio Dalit, Barangay Lumbayao in Valencia City, Bukidnon, were shot by 4 unidentified attackers on board 2 motorcycles in the morning of October 15. Zaidi sustained multiple gunshot wounds while Ramel was unscathed during the shooting. In an interview with Ramel on Saturday, he denied their involvement in ACT and clarified that it was only in 2016 that they attended an orientation organized by the group. Ramel remained clueless about the real motive of the perpetrator, saying they do not have any enemies at work and community. Meanwhile, the Department of Education called for justice and enjoined the community, local officials, and law enforcement agencies to work closely in ensuring the safety of schools, learners, and teachers. DepEd Undersecretary Annalyn Sevilla and Officer in Charge Assistant Secretary for Legal Affairs Alberto Escobarte said the Cabañeles couple could be provided with financial assistance as well as rehabilitation leave with pay on top of the statutory benefits from GSIS and PhilHealth. He added there could be higher penalties against the perpetrators since the district assault was committed against persons in authority on official duty. DepEd Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones earlier issued a statement strongly condemning the crime and called on the Philippine National Police to resolve the case and bring the perpetrators to justice. The Department of Education, or DepEd, on Sunday assured the public that its actions on Salugpungan schools aim to ensure the protection of the children and upholding their right to quality education at all times. On September 20, 2019, Assistant Regional Director and OIC of DepEd Region 11, Evelyn Feta-Levero, approved the recommendation of the Fact-Finding Committee for the closure of the private schools operated by the Salugpungan. However, the Commission on Human Rights expressed concern over the continued closure of LUMAD schools in the Davao region, saying protection of children from all forms of abuse and violence should not come at the expense of their other rights, such as the right to education. According to DepEd, it has taken all possible steps to ensure that the right of the children to education is protected throughout the process, such as opening of additional new schools, converted existing elementary schools into integrated schools, and mobilized local interagency coordination and convergence of efforts in most of the areas where Salugpungan schools were situated. The DepEd also emphasized the importance of managing the IP education program through a long-term partnership with IP communities at all governance levels to strengthen the enabling condition for culture-based education. A major revamp in PNP is underway as PNP OIC Lieutenant General Archie Francisco Gamboa gets a nod from NAPOLCOM. And folded umbrellas are now allowed in carry-on bags. More on these from Janice Cave.
PNP OIC Lieutenant General Archie Francisco Gamboa has implemented a major revamp in the PNP after getting a go signal from the NAPOLCOM. As OIC, Gamboa has limited power, but the NAPOLCOM, through a resolution, granted his request to reshuffle key positions in view of the retirement of some senior police officers. Gamboa also approved the movements based on the endorsement of the PNP Senior Officers Placement and Promotion Board. In other news, airline passengers may now bring folded umbrellas in carry-on bags in Philippine airports. According to the Office for Transportation Security on Sunday, this is in response to the public clamor to allow the bringing of folded umbrellas in the carry-on bags. However, cane umbrellas remain banned in the cabin, as well as other seemingly harmless items like adhesive tapes, because it can be used to tie someone's hand and be used for hijacking. Meanwhile, Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio bade farewell to the Supreme Court during a flag-raising ceremony on Monday, ahead of his scheduled retirement on October 26. Carpio thanked SC employees and colleagues for their unselfish support. Carpio, who will retire at the mandatory age of 70, is one of the longest-serving magistrates since the Supreme Court was established in 1901. His replacement will be President Rodrigo Duterte's 12th appointee to the Supreme Court. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Still to come, the Consultative Committee for Charter Change vows to continue pushing for federalism amid the passing of former Senator Nene. The government is looking to revive next year the negotiations on free trade agreement with South Korea. These and more when we return.
Ulat sa ginagawa ng Presidente. October 1, Martes. Bumiyahe si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte kasama ang kanyang delegasyon para sa 5-day official visit sa Russian Federation. October 2, Miyerkules, Moscow, Russia. Nakipag-bilateral meeting si Pangulong Duterte kay Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev kung saan napag-usapan ang trade and economic relations pati na rin defense at security ng dalawang bansa. Nag-courtesy call sa Pangulo ang mga opisyal ng Rosneft Oil Company. October 3, Huwebes, Sochi, Russia. Nagkaroon ng bilateral meeting sa pagitan ni Pangulong Duterte at Russian President Vladimir Putin. Muling pinagtibay ng dalawang lider ang mas lumalalim na ugnayan ng Pilipinas at Russia.
I am here today to reaffirm our strong commitment to build a robust and comprehensive partnership with the Russian Federation.
As for our bilateral relationships, I would like to highlight that the Philippines is a very important partner of Russia in Asia. Our bilateral cooperation is constructive and mutually beneficial.
Sunod ay dumalo ang Pangulo sa 16th annual meeting of the Valdai Discussion Club.
What we seek, I assume, what the Russian people and all nations also desire, is fairness, equality, and mutual respect. We want a strengthened rules-based order where countries, big or small, are treated the same. We want unimpeded freedom and guaranteed by our Constitution to exercise our right to govern ourselves as a people. and as we saw it fit. And we want friends and partners to respect our independence to make sovereign decisions just as we respect theirs.
Malacanang expressed its deepest condolences to the family of former Senate President Aquilino Nene Pimentel Jr., who passed away early Sunday morning. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the palace and the entire nation were saddened by the demise of the former Senate President Nene Pimentel, whose contributions to the country were exemplary. Pimentel died of lymphoma at the age of 85. The late lawmaker was the founder of the Partido Demokratiko Pilipino Lakas ng Bayan or PDP Laban, whose current president is his son, Senator Coco Pimentel, while its chairman is President Rodrigo Duterte. Meanwhile, PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar honored Nene Pimentel, calling the late lawmaker as an inspiring statesman. Andanar thanked the elder Pimentel for being an inspiration to Filipinos by being a true public servant. The Philippine National Police on Sunday joined the country in mourning the passing of former Senate President Aquilino Pimentel, also known as the father of the local government code. In a statement, PNP OIC Archie Gamboa and Senator Pimentel has touched many lives with his brand of leadership and public service. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año said the DILG family mourns the passing of Pimentel, who was also the former Minister and Secretary of Local Government under the Corazon Aquino administration. The DILG chief also hailed Pimentel's advocacy for change and political reform through the Program for Constitutional Reform. He asks all local government units nationwide to remember him as they commemorate Local Government Month. He also urges them to place flags at half-mast as a sign of respect. The now-defunct Consultative Committee for Charter Change on Sunday vowed to continue pushing for federalism as it mourned the passing of one of its members, former Senate President Aquilino Pimentel. In a statement, the ConCom recalled how Pimentel began his career in government as one of the young delegates to the 1971 Constitutional Convention. He then capped it as a stint as a member and vice chairman of the consultative committee that drafted the Bayanihan Federalism Constitution. The ConCom said that Pimentel was a steadfast advocate of true reforms and real change. It assured that with Pimentel's guidance, they would continue pushing for federalism. ConCom chairman and former Chief Justice Reynato Puno said promoting federalism will be the expert panel's best tribute to their colleague. The Philippine government is looking to revive next year the negotiations on free trade agreement with South Korea should the mismatch of offers between the two countries is not resolved by the end of the month. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said, while negotiations for an FTA are still ongoing, the deal may no longer be signed next month if these issues remain unsettled. But Lopez remains hopeful that the country could conclude its negotiations with South Korea by last week of November. FTA discussions between the two countries started on June of this year, with the Philippines seeking for higher agricultural exports aside from bananas, pineapples, and mango, and some industrial products to South Korea. South Korea is also asking for higher exports of industrial products to the Philippines. The National Food Authority reports that more farmers and cooperatives in Bulacan are selling them their palay amid the prevailing low prices of grains in the market. More on these and other news from the provinces from Ruth Abby Gita Carlo.
More farmers and farmer cooperatives are selling palay to the National Food Authority since the implementation of Republic Act 11203 or the Rice Tarification Law. The NFA is buying palay for the scrapping season at 19 pesos per kilo for clean and dried palay, while the private traders at 16 pesos and 50 centavos. NFA Bulacan said with the prevailing low buying price of palay among traders, farmers and co-ops prefer to sell their produce to the agency. The NFA is targeting to procure some 220,000 bags of palay in November and 150,000 bags of palay in December. Meanwhile, delinquent real property taxpayers in Kidapawan City have responded positively to the local government's appeal for them to settle their obligations before putting their properties to public auction. Mayor Joseph Evangelista lauded the action of 69 delinquent taxpayers who immediately settled their obligations with the city treasurer's office. The city has scheduled a public auction for 81 real properties in the city's 40 villages but offered a grace period for delinquent taxpayers to attend to their tax liabilities. In Davao Oriental, a housing project that will benefit more than 700 residents will soon commence after the signing of the lease agreement by relevant parties. Over 700 beneficiaries signed the lease agreement with the Socialized Housing Finance Corporation under its community mortgage program on Thursday, October 17. The agreement governs the acquisition of the 15.6-hectare land in Sitio Magay, Barangay Don Martin, Marundan, Mati City. Mayor Michelle Rabat said the project is a welcome development to address the housing backlog in the city. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Ruth Abby Kita Carlos.
Up next, tourists are enjoined to experience farm tourism sites in Ilocos. And about 103 cooperatives in Marawi City affected by the 2017 siege receive government aid in rebuilding their businesses. We will be back after a few reminders.
October 4, Biyernes, Moscow, Russia. Dumalo si Pangulong Duterte sa Philippines-Russia Business Forum kung saan pinirmahan ang ilang business cooperation agreements. Hinikayat din niya ang mga Russian investors na mamuhunan sa bansa, partikular na sa infrastructure program ng Pilipinas.
I invite you to participate in the massive build infrastructure program, especially in transport and railway construction, where Russia has high expertise.
Pinangunahan niya ang wreath-laying ceremony sa Tomb of the Unknown Soldier bilang paggalang sa mga Soviet soldiers na namatay sa Great Patriotic War mula 1941 hanggang 1945. Kinagabihan ay nagtanghal sa harap ng Pangulo ang world-renowned Filipino cultural groups na Bayanihan Dance Company at madrigal singers na pinabilib din ang Russian audience. October 5, Sabado, Moscow, Russia. Ginawaran si Pangulong Duterte ng honorary doctorate degree ng Moscow State Institute of International Relations. Bago umuwi ng Pilipinas, ay binisita ng Pangulo ang Filipino community na mainit naman siyang tinanggap.
Secretary Bello is working on an agreement na kayong nandito, overstaying, or have had problems, they will be covered with an understanding. Ang aking prayer lang is just abide by the laws of Russia. Sumunod lang kayo sa batas at wala tayong problema.
October 6, Linggo, Davao City. Agad ibinalita ng Pangulo ang matagumpay niyang 5-day official visit sa Russia.
We reaffirm the Philippines' strong commitment to a robust and comprehensive partnership with the Russian Federation on the basis of mutual respect, trust, and pragmatism. And working with Russia, we have achieved much.
Ako po si Secretary Martin Andanar at ito ang Duterte on Duty. Abangan sa susunod na linggo ang mga gagawin ng Pangulo.
Farm owners and tourist officials in Ilocos region are inviting tourists to experience visiting its farm tourism sites. Farm tourism is a hybrid concept that opens farms as part of travel itineraries. Farm owners are offering trainings and immersion tours to visitors who want to experience life in a rural farming community. Among the farms that have opened for tourism include organic farms, fruit growers, and eco-resorts. Since the signing of the Farm Tourism Development Act in 2016, accredited sites in the Ilocos region have reached 18, all unique to the region. As of September 2019, the Department of Tourism has accredited a total of 174 farms across the country, and it expects the numbers to further increase as the demand for low-impact tourism grows. About 103 cooperatives in Marawi City are rebuilding their businesses after the siege in 2017 with the help of the Cooperative Development Authority, or CDA. Co-op members managed to pull themselves from bankruptcy thanks to the financial aid granted by the government's cooperative arm. CDA Chairperson Orlando Rabanera said the cooperatives that received assistance represent farmers, fisherfolk, vendors, women, and internally displaced persons. Since 2018, he said CDA has already released 76 million pesos under its Marawi Rehabilitation through Cooperativism Project. Rabanera said the project is in line with the CDA's mandate to promote cooperatives as instruments of social justice, equity, and economic development. Meanwhile, various co-ops showcase their products in a trade fair that coincides with the second anniversary of the Declaration of Marawi's liberation. Some of the surviving World War II Filipino veterans attended the 75th Leyte Gulf Landings commemoration in Leyte on Sunday. The event highlighted the gallantry of World War II heroes that led to the liberation of the Philippines from Japanese occupation. Laid Kabagani has the story.